Coming up on Look Today, well, Heather Hicklin, the director of the World Awareness Children's Museum in Glens Falls, resigns. I've got details. And Rachel's Challenge. This is a program that's coming to Granville High School. More on that coming up. And a new area code for the Capital Region will accommodate all these new phone numbers. I've got details. It's all ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone, I'm Jay Hood Jackson and this is Look Today. In tonight's program, I'm on location at Gaffney's where I sit down with John Baker. He's the owner and we're joined by Dina Levine. She's a bartender and manager and we talk about Gaffney's participation in the upcoming New England Chowder Fest. This is after winning Saratoga's annual Chowder Fest for 4 years in a row. And Drew Wardle sits down with Tim Ortiz. He's a lead singer and songwriter for the Glens Falls rock band Redshift. He talks to Tim about their upcoming CD release show. And we have your weather for the Tri-North counties. But first, these headline stories. Well, in our lead story, here's a story we started telling you about the other day. Heather Hicklin, the director of the World Awareness Children's Museum in Glens Falls, has resigned. Now, this will be effective September 24. She's relocating to Omaha, Nebraska, where she'll take the position of Director of Quality Regulatory Compliance for Nebraska Organ Recovery. Try saying that 3 times fast. The museum on Warren Street promotes cultural diversity and tolerance through children's arts, exhibits, and educational programs. Well, we spoke to Heather about her tenure at the museum.
But you know, the museum is in great shape right now. We are excited about the new exhibits that we've been able to put into place. We have plans for the next 3 already to come, and we have new programming that we're doing, and our sensory sensitivity training has been put to great use, and so we've been able to welcome more families with children on the spectrum and with sensory sensitivities. So I think it's a great time for the museum, and it will only be a great time in the future as well.
Now, we also spoke to her about the community's support for the museum.
I would say to the people here and to the community, thank you for the welcome. It's been a wonderful, warm, exciting place to work for 2.5 years, and I'm proud to have been a part of it, and I'm excited to see what the future holds.
You know, over the years, we were involved with Heather in the museum on a number of different programs that they were marketing and promoting, and everybody here at Look Media wishes her a bright future. In other news, well, Rachel's Challenge. Now, this is a program designed to create healthier relationships for all those involved in K-12 schools. Well, the challenge was named after Rachel J. Scott. Now, she was the first person that was killed in the Columbine shootings in Colorado in 1999. Now, before her death, Rachel dedicated a lot of her time to helping victims of bullying and even prevented someone from committing suicide. Well, the program provides an evidence-based framework for positive climate and culture in schools. Rachel's Challenge is currently being implemented at Granville High School. Well, we spoke to Vivian Reed. She's a presenter of the program.
Kids respond really well. They are deeply impacted by what we share, and it's cool to see children and students just respond to kindness and wanting to make a change in their lives.
Now, we also spoke to Camille Harrelson. She's the principal of Granville High School.
So when we first started talking about Rachel's Challenge, we wanted to talk about things that we could do to help our students feel better about themselves and create a climate of compassion and responsibility within our students. The students here at Granville are wonderful, and we just thought it'd be a great way to bring the message home that everybody has something to share and be a positive role model.
Well, think about the world we live in now and how important a program like that is. Really want to applaud Granville High School. All right, we're going to switch from news to weather. Today is a gorgeous day with temperatures in the 80s. So let's see how the rest of the week is shaping up. For a more detailed look at our weather, we're going to head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast. Back to the news. Well, the State Public Service Commission announced yesterday that the second area code for our capital region is going to be 838. Now, new numbers with the 518 area code are running out. To address that, the public recently debated whether the area, meaning our district, should be split in half, with one side acquiring the new code. Now, most people are against this and in favor of all new numbers acquiring a new area code. Now, it's estimated that the 518 number, believe it or not, will run out by late 2017. If you do the math, that's a lot of phone numbers. In other news, well, after losing its old headquarters at the Salvation Army building in Saratoga, the Code Blue Site Committee has found a new home. The Code Blue shelter houses homeless people when temperatures drop dangerously low, usually below 20 degrees. The new building is the Soul Saving Station Church on Henry Street. That's 5 minutes away from the old site. Now, we're going to have more details on this tomorrow, including some interviews. Up next, I'm on location at Gaffney's, and I sit down with John Baker. He's the owner, and we're joined by Dina Levine. She's a bartender and manager. We talk about Gaffney's participation in the upcoming New England Chowder Fest. This is after winning Saratoga's annual Chowder Fest, you ready, for 4 years in a row. Plus, Drew Wardle sits down with Tim Ortiz. He's a lead singer and songwriter for the Glens Falls rock band Redshift. He talks to Tim about their upcoming CD release show on another episode of Look at Music. But first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea, how about join us for an interview? You can give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Look Today. Hey, we're really tight on time tonight, so I only really have one look out. It's International Peace Day. Think about that. Go online and get an understanding a little bit more about what that means. And it's also the beginning of Peace Week here in Saratoga. Culminates Sunday with the Peace Fair. Tonight on Look TV, it's a Saratoga City Council meeting. It's a new one. And don't forget, tune in tomorrow night for the stories that matter to you. Good night, everyone.